Good morning, accelerators. It's Diane Spadola, and this is your traction tips on Tuesday at 12. Welcome to my live stream. Today, what I wanted to do is talk to you about 7 digital marketing trends that the statistics and reporters are taking a look at in 2021. The reason that I'm sharing these with you is so that you have an opportunity to jump on the bandwagon, if you would like to think of it that way. It's not necessarily a fad if it's something that has been developing over time. And I think the pandemic really kind of shifted us into a more cyber dependent world. So let's talk about these trends. First and foremost is there's a lot more live streaming on social media. Okay, what does this mean for you? It means that if you are an influencer or you have influencers associated with your brand or your business, you need to get them on live to talk to your customers. But before you do that, you need to think about where your customers are, how they consume their content, how do they get their news, how do they learn about shopping, how do they participate in organizations, how do they participate in learning opportunities? You need to figure out how they do that, whether they participate in live stream shows such as TikTok, Facebook Live, Instagram Reels, and then if it turns out that they are participating in those types of media, then that's where you're going to support them. You're going to give your content to them using those platforms. However, if your customers are not involved in any of those media outlets, then you need to find out where they do hang out and reach them that way. Number 2, digital marketing trend. Cause marketing for brands became much more important in the last year. And what does that mean for you? Well, that means that goodwill marketing, which is an opportunity for you to tie your services or your brand to a community that means something to your followers, that you, if that is an opportunity, then you should take advantage of that opportunity, and your followers or fans or clients are going to be much more likely to respond. Third, user-generated content. That means things that you have actually created or things that your customers have actually created to be put online. The way you want to utilize this in your business is you want to set up Google Alerts for anything that would be indicative that your brand has been mentioned, okay? So back when I was a face painter, I set up a Google Alert to send me anything that had ever been searched or found on Google that had to do with Bella Faccia painting, all right? Now, I also did one that was for body painting, and I got an awful lot of Google mentions related to the auto body market. So that wasn't really that helpful because that's not the business I was in. So you want to be careful about your Google alerts. You want to use really good construction of that alert, you know, whether you're including the words exactly the name of your company, whether you're using individual words that are the name of your company, whether you're using your own name to find mentions in Google. So Google Alerts is one way that you can find out what the buzz is about your company, or it may be even you. You want to participate in group discussions that are not necessarily groups that you're responsible for, okay? So I have a private Facebook group. It's what I call my online classroom. It's called Accelerate Your Success. Obviously, any of you can participate in that classroom. But what I do is I also go to other business groups like women entrepreneurs or people just starting a business or small business in my town, county, or state. And I participate in those groups as an individual, all right? Now, I'm not promoting my business. A lot of groups, if they don't outright forbid you promoting, they really don't like it, and it can get you evicted from the group. So you don't want to promote your business, but you do want to participate in the discussions, especially if they're talking about current trends, legal issues that are happening in your state, town, or county, things that are important to your customers. That's what you always want to have an ear out for. What are the problems that your customers are facing, and where are they looking for solutions? And maybe, why don't they solve that problem themselves? So those are the sorts of questions that you want to jump in on the interaction so that people can start to see you as an expert. And then part of the user-generated content is a lot of companies are using far more surveys and polls as to what is important to their customers so that they can make sure that they're matching their customers' needs. And that's obviously something that you could do, either posting a poll or a survey on Facebook or using your email mailing list in order to get direction on what your customers want to learn about the most. Sustainability is number 4. So sustainability became critical in 2020 and 2021, primarily because everybody was home. Everybody was trying to figure out how they could reuse the things that they have, recycle, upcycle, trade with a friend in order to prevent them from having to go out and shop, especially when stores were closed. So if you can help your customers to feel good about the planet and your product by either your support of an organization, your reduction of paper and plastic in your business, or sharing your personal beliefs about recycling, conservation, protecting the environment, if you're sharing your personal beliefs, that's going to help people who are like you to navigate to you, because people want to purchase from individuals that have the same worldview as them, okay? You're looking for the customers that know, like, and trust you. Part of knowing and liking you is believing the same things that you do. And if your company happens to use recyclable materials or doesn't use plastics, or you're a restaurant and you're not using plastic straws anymore, those are all things that you want to promote so that it can bring more of your people to you. Number 5 is diversity. 41% of shoppers shop for brands that reflect their own diversity. Okay? So if that's helpful to you in the market that you're going after, you want to make sure to amplify that, and your shoppers will respond. Number 6, voice and visual search options became much more prevalent. In fact, in America, 1 out of 4 families has a Google Home, an Echo, an Alexa, something like that they can talk to either search for things on the internet, learn the news, play music, participate in an audio tape, whatever, okay? Now, what does that mean for you? That means that if you are not using alternative text on your photos that appear on the internet, those photos are not going to be searchable by a voice-activated device. So keep in mind that, excuse me, if your ultimate goal is to rank higher on search engine results, you want to use every opportunity you can to do that. And last but not least is content consumption. Everybody is assuming more content. Obviously, there's way more content out there because everybody was home creating it on their own computers. You'll have to excuse my dumpster outside. They came at noon today. Yay! But 2 places have actually increased dramatically in terms of content consumption. One is newsletters that get delivered directly to your inbox, and the second one is podcasts. And podcasts seem to be popular because you can do a lot of other things while you're listening to a podcast, okay? You can drive, you can walk, you can run, you can clean house. You might be able to watch your kids. I mean, God help you if you're playing a podcast while you're eating dinner. Please don't do that. But in the meantime, think about what your customers are going to be doing. And if there's a way that you can deliver content directly to them, to their eyes with a newsletter or to their ears with a podcast, that's something that you want to look into. Directing your content specifically to your listener, reader, fan, follower, you need to be prepared for the fact that there's more competition, which means that your subject lines need to be motivating, your messaging needs to be on point, which means you need to be talking, because you know all about them, talking specifically to your ideal customer. So knowledge of your ideal client in a content-based marketing world becomes even more important. Now, let's talk a little bit about what content or what type of content you would want to share. First and foremost, this is not necessarily ads or promotional material. You need to put content out there. Why? Because it builds expertise, it shares your beliefs and values, which we've already talked about. You want people to know, like, and trust you. It lets people get to know you personally, okay? So when you tell a story in a newsletter about something funny that happened to you personally and how that relates to your business or to your customers' lives, that helps them feel closer to you. It strengthens the relationship, even if it's only through the internet. It adds value, especially if you're teaching, training, counseling, providing marketing support, any of those things. The newsletter or the content that you put out there can add to the value of your services. It sets you apart from other people who don't write, film, or place content into the marketplace. I like to think that it allows me an opportunity to get to know my customers because I get to see what they're responding to when I send out my weekly newsletter. You can find that weekly newsletter on my blog at accelerateyoursuccessprogram.com. And then last but not least, something that I've always felt was important is I honestly believe that email newsletters is the secret sauce for marketing your business today, even more so since the pandemic, because it's really the only way that we could get to our customers in the past year. We weren't out and about shaking hands and meeting people at networking lunches. We weren't participating in trade shows or meeting our customers on the street or at the bank or in the grocery store. But when you can deliver a newsletter that provides them with added value direct to their inbox, now that's something. And they'll keep coming back to you for more and more and more. So if you'd like to take advantage of my newsletter, which is called Weekly Traction Tips, you can sign up for that by either joining my Facebook group, which is here, or you can go to my video blog, which is here, or you can send me a personal message in any way, shape, or form. I'm all over the place. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram. I like to be wherever my customers are. And if you're a marketing challenged entrepreneur that doesn't really know how to get out of your own way, loves what you do, but really hates the marketing stuff, I'm your girl. See you next week. Thanks for watching.